14 lantern, sorry.
Okay. Yeah, give me a second. Can you all see that?
Yep.
See what? What are we talking about?
I doubt you'll be able to see it if you're not in the cave.
Yeah, we should move forward enough for everyone to get in.
Yeah, I figure I would have been just behind you guys. Since technically in initiative order, y'all are in front of me.
Okay. Winter, you have control of that, and the lantern is centered on you, so you can move it with yourself if you like.
Okay.
Also, I imagine Vinda can sort of, not care about if she occupies our spaces.
Yeah, Vinda can move freely.
Okay, I want to ready my bow. And let someone
As you walk,
better at smacking people in front of me.
As you walk forward, Olaf, you start with thanks to the help of Winter's light, you start barely seeing the edges of troglodytes and their outlines.
Okay, I whisper behind me. I see a troglodyte up ahead. What should we do?
By the way, all of you are also standing by a carton of untarnished lemons right next to you.
I will grab 3 or 4, about 4 or 5 lemons. Yeah.
Olaf is standing by it. You're in the back.
Okay, when I get there.
We could distract them with the lemons.
Ari, Vinda, Curiosity, and Harmony, give me stealth rolls. You never gave me one before.
Oh, I rolled a 9 on my stealth roll from way back before we did initiative.
Yeah, I rolled a 15.
Yeah, I think mine was a 12.
I have mine written down. It was a 10.
Distracting them with lemon sounds kind of good. Does anybody else have any alternate suggestions?
Hold on, hand me a lemon, please.
I'm sorry, Bizek. I'm really having a hard time hearing you. You're very quiet.
Sorry, it's hard. I've got to work on projecting that voice properly. I'll get it down eventually. I asked you to hand me a lemon.
Oh, okay. I reach down to pick up a lemon and I hand it to you.
I take my arrow and I stick the head of it through the lemon.
I put one in my pouch too.
And I take aim.
What are you doing?
What does it look like I'm doing?
Well, it looks like you're fixing to shoot a lemon on your arrow, but I'm wondering, what's your plan? What are you gonna do after that? Why are you gonna do that?
You hear, and you hear like a guttural sort of sound, and you look, kind of catches your attention, and you see that they start moving. They start looking over in your guys' general direction.
Why not just throw the lemon?
I take out my gun, I point it at the lemons, and I yell, "Get back! Don't come any closer!"
Oh my gosh.
Oh no, not the squishies! Don't hurt the squishies!
I mean, to be fair, I kind of wanted to do that too, but I needed flames or something. Should have grabbed the torch from outside.
Yeah, immediately you see the couple of trogs in front of you. They drop their weapons. They look at you. Oh, no, not the squishies, not the squishies.
Throw us your weapons.
They immediately throw them on the ground in front of them.
I want to go and collect them.
Okay. You go off. You go up and you collect them one by one. When you get to the third one, you see he starts to sort of get a little brave, and you can see that he starts thinking about fighting against you. But all of you point even harder at the lemons right as he gets up to it, and immediately the trog backs off, and you're able to gather the last two weapons.
And then I retreat back.
I want to announce to the trogs. I say, we didn't come here to hurt anybody, but we how many of you are there here? Do they know how to count? Do they know what numbers are?
Good question.
It's a valid question for trogs.
You see them looking at you, and one of the center really tries hard. Then he raises both of his hands, which only have 4 fingers on each of them, and he raises all of the fingers. Many! And he tries to raise them like they're counting.
They only know 3 numbers: 1, 2, and many.
But he emphatically waves those fingers at you. Many!
Out of character. What was the? There was one of the characters was named the Boss Man, and he's here.
That's what they said.
As far as we know, he's here.
Or he was.
Yeah, we think maybe the boss man was the imp that vanished.
Yeah, it's entirely possible he vanished, as in teleported, made a really decent stealth roll, or did some magic. Let's put it that way.
Okay, what should we do now?
You hear, as they're standing there with their weapons, a couple other footprints starting to come closer.
Somebody please hurry up and make a decision what we should do now.
Well, if we keep threading the lemons and it's working, I say we let the rest of them come here and give us their weapons too. And maybe find out who this lady is.
I have rope.
Lady? You what, lady? The center one speaks up.
Yeah, who is
Yes.
the lady and what were you doing for her?
They look at each other. They look back at Olaf.
He'll do it. He'll shoot the lemon. He'll shoot the squishies. Please answer. Don't let him shoot the squishies.
Lady, speak only to King. Only King knows, lady. But, lady, have us dig? We dig. Yes, dig.
You For what?
Dig! Dig! If find shiny, tell bossman, tell lady. Then, king get paid. King get very happy when paid.
Is Bossman here?
No. Bossman gone. Bossman leave. Bossman done.
So, did you find shiny?
They seem a little confused by this question, and they kind of look at each other. You find shiny? One of the Trogs shakes his head, no. And the other one's, you find shiny? No. They kind of look around. No find shiny. The bossman leave. Bossman leave without shiny. No. And they sort of like have this confused conversation with each other, where none of them seem to know what the shiny is or where they found it, but the bossman's leaving, and they're very confused by this.
Okay, I say to them, tell your friends that are approaching that will hurt the squishies if they come at us with weapons.
And I have my lemon arrow ready, just in case.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Me?
Yeah. Intimidation. If you have it.
I don't have any of that stuff. What is it?
It would be in communication.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a pretty good roll.
Yeah.
That is.
He looks at you. You give him this cold, steely eye look, and you see his large, lizard-like eyes kind of go wide. No, stop, shiny, no, Squishy's in trouble. Squishy, no. And you hear the footsteps just shh, stop. They no come. No hurt, Squishy. We no hurt strangers. And it gives you a weird thumbs up with one of its fingers.
Tell them to put down their weapons and come out where we can see them.
Remember, they don't know what we can see or cannot see.
You hear some more footsteps, and then you hear the dropping of weapons. But you can't really see any more of them.
Okay, group, we seem to have the upper hand for the moment. How do you want to proceed?
You let us search. You let us search cave. We no hurt Squishy, you no hurt us. Okay?
How about we tie them up and take them prisoner? I have rope.
What
We
for?
stay by Squishy. No. We see Squishy, you can go. No see Squishy, no go.
Well, half of us could stay here, threatening the lemons, and half of us could go check out the pit.
That's what I figured. If we could investigate and at least search what's going on in the cave, we will know what's going on a lot more, or a lot better than what we did beforehand.
That sounds good to me.
So you said the boss man left. Is he ever coming back?
No find shiny. Bossman not leave till he find shiny. We no find shiny.
Maybe I should tie them up while you guys search.
Harmony will start walking forward.
So long as they're squishy, the lemons are safe. They'll be fine. They will agree. They'll behave, right?
No hurt, Squishy. No hurt, stranger. And Harmony, as you step up, your light now kind of booming through the cave. You do see, the other troglodytes that were coming up. You see that their hands are high above their heads. Their weapons are far away from them, and they've just been standing there in the dark this entire time, listening to everything.
I want to go from each one, and I want to like tie them up, and like make like a chain gang of rope.
You don't have to
With
tie
their
them
hands
up,
behind
but
their
okay.
I mean, it's safer that way in case one of like the imp shows up and tells them to start attacking.
Also, if we can just lead them back to town, all imprisoned.
As you start putting the rope near them, you see they start kind of buckling and resisting and looking nervously at each other. No tie truck.
Even more squishies for you if you let me tie you up.
Look, they're agreeing with us now. Just don't touch them.
Yeah.
Just take their weapons away.
I've told them this. I am willing to make a roll here.
Make a persuasion intimidation.
Would not deception be better? I lied to them about squishies.
If you want to do deception, that's fine. Harmony and Air, as you step forward, as you start stepping in, one of the trogs steps in front of you and says, Hold. Trog sleeping. What trog? Sleep in there. Don't know. Ambush you. I go first.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
He eyes you, and then he very carefully, gingerly starts walking in front of you.
See, they're quite amicable when you find their leverage point.
Garm, you start tying them up, but you get the sense that as you do it, this is a very precarious situation. They're fine with you holding the lemons hostage, but restricting their movement is starting to get them a little bit anxious, a little bit more nervous than before. And
Don't worry, there will be many more squishies for you to feast upon later. We will take you to the squishies, and you may have them all.
they do as you say, but they're not. Their eyes dart between you, the lemons, and themselves. Like they're very much keeping aware of all of what's going on.
And after, like, once I get them tied up in a chain gang, I want to, like, give them each a squishy and feed it to them.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I was just going to suggest that.
I
Might
was too.
placate them a little bit.
It does alleviate some of the tension. As you tie them up and you keep their hands in front of them so they can eat, and you give them each a lemon. They look at you. They sort of, at least the boss, the front man, the first one. He sniffs the lemon, licks it, takes a bite out of it, and once he sort of determines that it's okay, he sort of nods at his other trogs, and they start devouring and getting into the squishies. Their eyes never really leave yours. They keep an eye on you as they eat, but you can definitely tell that this is more just out of being aware of what's going on. Their attention is mostly on these lemons. Ari, and the Gloamlings, as you follow the Trog, he walks pretty carefully, keeps checking his shoulder, looking behind you, making sure that you're following him, and he passes into a corner. He's moving pretty quickly, a little bit faster than you guys can keep up with, but you stay close enough to him to watch where he's going as he turns.
Could I have also picked up like 3 lemons or so as I walked by the cart?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
You know, curiosity would make me feel a lot better if you'd stayed behind.
But I want to find out what is going on here.
In other words, lad, he's curious. It was there. It's your name. I had to. I've been fighting off the dad jokes all day. You're stuck with it.
As you turn the corner into the bigger room, all of a sudden you just hear a no harm strangers, no harm strangers. They have squishies. They have yellow squishy. Destroy yellow squishy if you harm stranger. And you come close and you hear this like fluttering of like dropping weapons and clattering as like these presumably asleep trogs are just scare the living daylights out of them as this trog just shouts into the darkness.
Oh yeah, just a quick thing I want to say. Like, I want to have them lined up next to each other, so I use as little rope as possible. So it's like chain gang style.
All right. And as you turn the corner, you do see these trogs like fumbling around, and then they look at all of you, and they look at the trog, and they start going for their weapons again. But then the middle trog, no! Destroy squishies! Harm yellow squishy! We have no yellow squishy! Drop weapons! Nice strangers! Lots of squishy! If we help!
I pull one of the lemons out of my pocket and start tossing it in my left hand, just kind of tossing it up and down.
So is this thing to the left of the pit, or is that just something else?
Right here is the hole. You see the one in the back picks up his spear. You strangers, why are you here?
We strangers, we here trying to investigate something. We look for something. And at the same time, I pull out my short sword, and instead of throwing the lemon up in my left hand, I let it rest in my left hand, and I put the short sword right on the lemon. Right now, I wish to know, did you find shiny?
You look at this one, and you can tell that this one's a little bit smarter than the other ones. And the other three are kind of confused about the situation, and certainly the trog in front of you is terrified. But this one's sort of eyeballing you. And you look at his spear. It's a different color than everyone else's. It's a little bit more ornately decorated. You work for a lady?
Yes, I work for the lady. She requested that we come over here and get a status update.
Bossman already here. Bossman already asked. Bossman already told us what lady wants.
Lady doesn't like boss man sometimes. She sent us to check in on him.
Roll deception.
You can do it, Aerie.
Vinda, as you start coming close, you do notice that this trog, the one speaking to Aerie right now, is the same trog that was talking to the boss man.
That would be just deception, and would be just straight up communication. That's a 12.
Okay. Boss man is annoying. He nods at you.
Yes, that's why lady sent us. Sometimes she don't like him.
Ask question. We tell lady what she wants to know.
Did you find shiny?
Drugs now find shiny. Boss man told us shiny no longer matter. We fill hole.
That's interesting. Alright. What did you find in the hole besides dirt?
Dirt, sand, more dirt. We don't find anything interesting. Hole, not had that shiny. Thought other holes had shiny. Didn't. This hole almost had shiny, but no shiny.
Okay. Does Bossman have a place he like to keep things here?
Bossman no live here. Bossman no stay here. Bossman only come when ladies send.
Did Bossman tell you to leave after you finished burying the hole?
Yes. Bossman said leave. Bossman said bury. Bossman said take care of everything. Clear out cave. Make that Trog not here. Then Trog return home. Lady, pay king. King happy. King let us have shinies. He says this like kind of nodding and proud of himself as he's like, shinies, yes.
You did good. You did good. Yes, the lady will give your king shinies. Tell me, can you... have you seen Lady?
No. No one see lady. Only king see lady. Well, maybe Bossman see lady. Maybe you see lady. But not Trog.
Alright, thank you for your time. I'll make sure that the lady knows you have been very cooperative, and she give King more shiny for you, specially.
But only if you can keep your hands off of the squishies that are still at the village. She doesn't want any attention brought to this. We've already brought in too much attention. If you go after the other squishies, you won't get any of the shinies.
Trog notice. Bossman told this. Yellow shinies. Yellow squishies are too... They're good. They're very yummy.
Think about how many you could get with all the shinies you're going to get.
That's right, you can trade shinies for squishies.
Nah. Uplanders no trade with squid. No trade with Trog. They think Trog vermin. They don't touch Trog. He sees this with like, there's almost a little bit of sadness in his eyes, just like no one trades with the Trogs.
Yeah. Can I look around and see if anything stands out, like anything in the barrels, or if there's anything that might stand out from dirt and pickaxes?
Sure, go ahead and make a perception searching test.
Yeah, can I like fly down the hole and like check it out?
Absolutely.
Not as good as I thought.
That's so sad. That's a sad roll.
Picking through the dirt. There's really not anything here. It's dirt, dirt, more dirt. There's a little bit of iron here and there, but like nothing worth mentioning. Harmony, you fly down. You fly down and down, down and down. You probably fly maybe 50 feet down into the hole.
Wow.
You see ladders that reach only about halfway, are broken here or there. They're all rope ladders. As you're flying down, you also saw a few that were curled up, broken. This is probably the way they got into it. You get down to the bottom. Just like Vinda, you're a little baffled as to why they're even trying to bury this hole. You see piles of dirt, what looks to be fresh dirt, just dumped into this hole, but it's far too deep to be filled up with small barrelfuls of dirt anytime soon. But it's a complete, almost circular hole. And you can see where their newest dig site is. There appears to be like a mound of some kind. Just like it's a strange sort of form, and that's why it catches your eye. But it's covered in like mud and dirt and whatnot. You can't quite tell what it is.
Like, how much mud and dirt are we talking about here?
It's you'd have to get closer to see, but it looks pretty caked on.
Well, I might as well go closer.
Do you have anything to try and get some of the dirt off?
Are there any shovels or anything down here?
There are many shovels and pickaxes and mining picks and all the kinds of digging implements.
Great, I guess I'll take like a shovel and just kind of like lightly kind of go over it to make sure to try and not damage whatever's underneath it.
You carefully pick at it for a little bit. After a while, you uncover what looks to be like a fist, a stone fist. Not grasping on anything, just clutched, and it seems to be attached to an arm sticking straight up into the sky.
Okay, I'll fly back up to tell everybody else.
Okay, switching over to the other three, you have, as you've been discussing, Trogs really haven't been much of a problem. They've sat quietly, and as long as they've been able to see the wheelbarrow that Olive is standing over, they haven't really given you much fuss. They've quickly finished their yellow squishies, and now they're sort of licking their hands of the leftover citrus. Keeping an eye on you, some of them kind of dart to what they perceive to be the leader, which you kind of guessed is the first one that talked to you, because they look to him and then they look back to you, but for the most part they just sit quietly listening.
So, a quick question. Does Drashan have any sapient pests like this?
Just roll me a natural. What kind of lures do you have? Do you have any lore?
I would only know what I would have likely actually encountered being a hunter.
Then make an intelligence check for me.
I'm curious to know if trogs are people or if they're actually animals.
That opens a whole lot of philosophical debate about what are people.
Well, they fit sort of a grayer area. Typically, as you've encountered in Qutis, most people see trogs, goblins, the like of that, as pests. Semi-intelligent and capable of some amount of reasoning, but mostly just destructive and annoying, and you treat them kind of like you would coyotes or rabbits that get into your farming land.
You shoot them. Which is how I was going, or imagining it.
Okay, well that changes things. I was thinking that they were more like people than
Well,
They're like
that's
super smart dogs.
that is the current opinion of the people, of most people. Doesn't mean that's your opinion. That is what most people consider them to be. On Drashan, Gorm, the equivalent would be goblins. Drashan has a fair amount of goblins, and they would be considered pretty much the same as troglodytes, pests, nuisances, things to be gotten rid of if they settle near you, or to be used if you can use them. It sort of depends on your perspective. That people have been known to use goblins and the like if they find what they fancy them, and they'll use them for their own nefarious purposes, but for the most part, people just see them as pests.
They're no different than goblins.
Winter, what are you doing?
I'm kind of irritated by what I hear from Gorm, because I think that they seem pretty intelligent.
So, like, assuming I've run into goblins hunting, like, what would my experience as a hunter be with them? Like, if I caught them trying to steal my kill or something, would that be a reasonable thing that they would try and do? Especially if there were more of them than me.
Sure. Or they would, or while you're away from home, they would try and raid whatever food is left unattended and unlocked, or those types of things. Most of the time, you just run them off. They're pretty easily scared and they're superstitious, but it's not taboo or considered wrong if you just outright killed them. No one would think it any different than killing wolves that came near your homestead.
Yeah, I have a pretty low opinion of them then.
However, for Olaf and Winter, you really haven't encountered many sentient creatures. Olaf not being a hunter like your brother, and Winter not being too far away from what you've seen in the caravan. You know what a goblin is, and now you know what a trog is, but you wouldn't have really encountered, I don't think, very
So I've
many
just
of these types.
heard stories from people about what they are.
Exactly.
You probably heard, like, one winter they broke into my stores and I nearly starved. So I got, like, a thing about goblins, and these things look like lizardy goblins to me.
Okay, so all right, so I know that about you.
Yeah, I'll say that. This sounds like a good story.
All right, switching back to the rest of you. Harmony comes swooping back up. And this entire time, the one trog that's led you, he's sort of standing in between you and his leader now. Mostly looking to his leader for direction. But they've been content to sort of stare you down. Just look at you. They haven't really moved much. But the four of them have regained their weapons, and they are holding on to them. They don't seem to be as upset about you holding the lemon as the other one is. But they haven't made any threatening moves towards you.
Wow, that sure is a deep hole. You're supposed to fill all of that?
Busman said, "We fill hole, we fill hole."
I'll turn to... Yeah, there's some sort of statue down there. I didn't uncover all of it, but it's going to take more time to do that.
Still sounds like whatever is going on, or whatever the goal is, it's not here, or they're disappointed with something.
Or the boss man took the thing without them knowing.
That is also possible.
Maybe if we can convince them that their orders are to just leave and never come back and take the squishies with them, we'll leave the hole open so we can continue investigating it.
Yeah, we can try that.
I leave that in your capable hands, Ari.
I shall try. Alright, the lady wants you and your entire troop to leave. Go back to your king, your job is done. The hole, leave it alone. The recent raids on the yellow squishies have gotten too much attention. She doesn't like that, but if you leave now, she'll make sure king is happy.
Make a deception check.
You can do it, Ari. I believe in you.
I'm not good at deception yet.
So you
I
say.
am today.
I mean, having a +3 to communication helps out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lady Peking, you make sure
I make sure.
we keep yellow squishies.
Yes. What you have gathered, you keep.
Where me trugs?
Say that again?
Me trugs. I have more than these. Where they?
I will go get them.
No. You bring me to them. I see them.
Oh,
They live, you leave.
yes.
They no live, we kill.
They better be alive, but okay, yeah, they should be up here.
The one trog that leads you starts following you, and you hear a brisk and he says something in their native language. And he just bows his head and backs into a corner. Then the leader follows you with his other 3 in front of him.
And turn the corner and be like, well, they're following the lady's orders that we've given them. They're going to leave immediately.
Come on, Curiosity.
Curiosity, what are you doing?
I'm gonna go with them.
Yeah, and I say that very loudly so that the people before we round the corner, they can hear me. Because I have no idea what's going on behind us.
Yeah.
Just so that they know we're coming.
Yeah, you hear their voice echoing through the cavern.
Hello, gentlemen. I see you couldn't resist tying them up.
Hey, there is a lady here too.
Well, I figure you didn't wish to tie them up, but if you wish to be included, I'm sorry, my lady.
Oh, nope, okay.
Gorm just cocks an eyebrow.
Yeah, as you see your party return, there are 4 armed trogs following them, very gingerly and at a good pace, and they're keeping an eye on your party.
Are they supposed to be following you?
Yes, they are. They're just wanting to make sure their fellows are safe and unharmed, and Ari will kind of give a sidelong glance to Olaf, or not Olaf, Gorm.
Yes, we've given them the lady's orders that they're to leave immediately. And to not disturb the villagers anymore.
I will walk up to Erithas and whisper to him, what evidence will we bring back that we have done this?
Can I roll like a perception hearing to see if like I can tell like by tone or anything if like the leader person is saying something like secretly evil to his armed minions or to the people who are tied up right now?
It would be secretly antagonistic, but okay.
Well, I mean, you could probably maybe tell by tone of voice or something. I don't know.
Sure, make perception hearing.
So, also, did you hear what I said? If you didn't understand it, just let me know.
I heard and I understand. I believe the empty cave would be good enough. They now have orders to depart from here as quickly as possible.
I'm not so sure.
Harmony. That's a really good roll. Yeah, you look and you see the leader. He gestures to one of the trucks that is tied up, and it gets up and it slowly waddles over to him. And you see a conversation go over. Nothing about their tone seems antagonistic. The leader does look to you, and he looks at all of his men, and then goes back to speaking. Looks back at you. And then after a brief couple of minutes, he turns back to you, Harmony. Hey, fine. Stupid, but fine.
All right. Oh, where was that other one that was with you? Doesn't he need to come along?
I'll get him later. He in corner now. Stupid. Stupid.
Just a little bit. All right. So we'll let them go. You take the squishies with you. Make sure you don't disturb the villagers anymore, and the lady will be pleased.
Fine. As long as lady pleased and king pleased, be pleased. We won't steal squishies any longer. About time we leave anyway. Ladies, this task stupid. All stupid.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna start untying people. Wait, where are their weapons? Their weapons are still far away from them, right?
Yeah, I've got, like, I have some on me. What are the weapons, by the way?
They're just sticks with pointed rocks tied to them.
So yeah, I will help
So-
untie
So
and
not even
get my rope back.
not even well crafted stone spearheads or anything. Just vaguely sharp.
I
I
mean,
go over and start helping untying as well.
okay. And then it takes you a couple minutes, and eventually you get them all tied. The leader still keeps his eye on all of you as you go, and as each trog gets his hand tied, as they start going to wheelbarrows, and I start picking up as many squishies as they can, and they start gathering in their hands. And then they stand and they wait for their leader's orders.
And about that, I'll walk up to the leader and hand him the one lemon I had in my hand and also the 2 additional ones, and hand it to him and say, "As a peace offering, my friend."
He doesn't take them from you, but he nods at the 3 in front of him, and they each take one, and they hold it, lick it, look at him. He nods at you. Fine. Offer. Good.
I want to announce to the Trogs, just so we're clear, this cave is off limits to you from now on. Don't ever come back.
No want to come back. This place suck.
Considerably understandable. Hopefully we can increase relations between Trogs and everyone else in future dealings, and I will extend my hand.
Gorm just walks out.
You see all of them turn their heads in a familiar dog confused look.
It is a means of greeting and agreement.
The leader holds his hand out in front of him. Doesn't go to shake your hand, he just holds it out.
I will slowly match my hand to his hand and shake it.
You get closer and you get closer, and as you almost touch the Trog leader's hand, his soldiers kind of tighten their grip on their spears and go for it, but the leader just stays calm. He doesn't move. Waits for you to touch his hand. And then as you slowly start to shake it, he kind of nods at his others, and they back off a little bit. When you finish, he puts his hand back. Still eyes you very curiously, like, you feel like the odd one now in the group, like you just did like the weirdest thing ever.
That's okay.
He doesn't say anything, but he just sort of nods at you and goes back to holding his spear a little closer.
Siriana, I broke out of the map.
What?
I fell out of the world.
Is it like
Another plane.
Is it like Skyrim? Are you falling indefinitely till?
No, I was in the walls.
No, he's super dead now.
All new character.
Yeah, no, I was just hiding behind the walls.
Alright, so you all leaving?
Yes.
I want to suggest trying to seal this entrance to the cave so no other like troglodyte tribes can move in here later. I don't know how we could do that though.
We can worry about that after we get out, and once the trogs are gone.
Are you sure we should do it after we get out? Are you sure we shouldn't do it while we're still inside?
Sorry, I meant once after the trogs get out. There's still that one that they left kind of like in the corner. I'll say I'd like.
They're not all leaving right now?
No, they are. They wait for you all to leave first. They're still very cautious of you. But as you all kind of fall out, come out of the cave and start, making your way out, there's this slow soldier line of trogs just marching out, and much more orderly than you would have thought trogs could do. Each one of them holding as many lemons as they can in their shoulders. Just eventually, you see the leader with his 3 other trogs come out behind them, and behind them is this last trog, no lemons in his hand. His arms at his side, and he's just kicking the sand as he's walking behind them, just distraught and destroyed.
I throw him the lemon that I stuck an arrow through after I pull it off my arrow.
Yeah, I give him my lemon out of my pouch too.
His eyes just light up, and he takes them both from your grasp, and he gives you it's almost a cute smile, but he has a bit of a crocodile face, so it's a little bit more disturbing than cute. But you think it's meant in good fashion, and he kind of picks up his pace and runs to catch up with the others.
I think he just eats a wet thud in the face from mine.
Eventually they get a little further away from you. The leader and his entourage kind of turns back, gives you a nod, and then they head off into the sand. And with that, we're going to take a break here.
Hooray!
Okay.
It might not be a bad idea to just search the cave and see if there's anything that they didn't realize was valuable in there.
Yeah.
Well, there's the
were
weird
we
statue in
gonna-
the pit, so
Yeah, that.
definitely going back to the statue in the pit.
Yeah, I don't think we should actually seal the cave. We need to look into it.
I don't
Yeah.
think we
also
have the
like-
tools to seal the cave, to be honest.
Grab the pickaxes that they left behind, try and loosen some stone.
Oh yeah, we should.
We have gunpowder and there are rocks. We have plenty of capacity.
Are you
to
sure we
close.
have enough gunpowder and that we have the right stuff?
Put it in the right
Do we
place?
have
yeah.
any
No, it seems
cake
like
to
you
put
gotta
them
like
in?
dig hole. You gotta like pickaxe like holes to put the gunpowder in, so
Oh,
that
yeah.
like cracks the rock off.
Yeah, but
That's way
I'm
too
all-
much work that we're not getting paid for.
I want to investigate the cave. So, but
Oh, I don't know. I just thought somebody could magic it.
No one has earth. If someone had earth magic, they could do that.